I feel good. Howdy folks, Bluesboy Jag here, yet another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's I Feel Good by the great James Brown. We're tuned to open G. This is an A string tuned down to G, and a D string tuned normal to D, and a G string, 3rd string tuned normal to G. Super common open G tuning, low G, D, and high G. Now this one is a little tricky, well, maybe a little bit more than a little tricky, but it's got some interesting licks for sure, and the timing is really funky, really cool. So let's get right to it. So we're going to start out 3rd string, 7th fret, just play that one note. I'm using my fingers, by the way. I generally don't use a pick on a 3-string cigar box guitar, but you can if you want to. All right, so we're going to play that note right here to start out the song. We're going to be on the 3rd string, 7th fret. We're going to do this slide. So you got your first finger on 1-7 and your second finger on 2-9. And you're going to slide down 1 fret and back up. I'm using my thumb on the 2nd string and my first finger on the 1st string if you use your fingers. So all I'm doing is snapping both of those strings, one with my thumb, one with my first finger, the 1st string and the 2nd string. Sliding back 1 fret and then back up to where I was. It's a little tricky because you have to press down pretty hard to slide down, and you're using only 2 fingers as opposed to 1 bar chord. So it's a little tricky, but it shouldn't take you too long. And do not play that 3rd string at all. We're only playing the 1st string and the 2nd string. Now the next lick is... So you're going to use your 3rd finger on 1-7, go down to your 1st finger on 1-5. So you're going to use your 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 7th fret, and then you're going to jump that same 3rd finger to the 3rd string, 7th fret. So that whole lick is... The timing on this is really critical. It's really fun though, but it is difficult. I'll tell you that much up front, but if you play along with the song, you'll get the timing. There are some interesting false beats. There's some beats where you think the note's going to come, but it comes right after that beat, so that's called the upbeat. Anyway, it's just a little bit tricky, but I probably shouldn't say that, right? You know, teachers aren't supposed to tell their students, this is going to be really hard. So anyway, back to the top. I'm using my fingers, so I'm using my thumb on the 2nd string and my 1st finger on the 1st string. And I'm sliding down. Thumb on the 2nd string, 1st finger on the 1st string. Claw hammer. All I'm doing is snapping both strings at once. And you slide down 1 fret and go back up. That one I'm not picking. I'm only picking the 1st note. It looks a little weird with my 2nd finger kind of getting in the way there, but basically I'm not flipping you off, but it sure does look like it. So when you look at it that way, you can see my 1st finger here and my 2nd finger here. Those are the only 2 fingers I'm pressing down on the strings with. My thumb's on the 2nd string, my 1st finger's on the 1st string. I choose to use my thumb on all downs on this one. 7, 5 on the 1st string, 7 on the 2nd string, and 7 on the 3rd. Really cool. Notice there's that one beat, and you'll see my hand kind of do this on that beat. That really, by the way, will help you stay in time. It might seem a little weird at first if you've never done that. Basically, what you're doing is you're doing a false beat with your, or a false note, I should say, with your fingers on the downbeat. It's where the bass drum plays, but it keeps you in time if you play on that beat with your fingers. Just like that. All it is just a click. That will help keep you in time. You can do the same thing with your foot if you like. All right, now the second part is the same lick, but we're going to be using your first finger on the first string 10th fret and your third finger on the second string 12th fret. Again, sliding down one fret just like we did before. You got to slide down both fingers at the same time. I'm not using my second finger and I'm not flipping you off, I promise. That's just so that you can see that I'm only using that finger to press down and that one. I'm not pressing down with that one. All right, from the top. So right here I'm on the 14th fret, barring all the way across with my third finger. Why am I using my third finger? I seem to get more pressure with that third finger than my first finger. Also, if I use my first finger here, my hand is shoving up against the body of the guitar, which feels a little weird. So I'm using my third finger here on the 14th fret, first finger on the 12th fret. Now, so I'm using my first finger on the 4th string, 7th fret. Then I'm going to go up to the 10th fret with my pinky on the same string. First finger on the 2nd string, 7th fret. Then you're going to use your pinky on the 10th fret and your third finger on the 1st string, 9th fret. So it's pretty wacky. Then we go back to the top. Pretty cool, pretty funky, and a little bit intricate. All right, from the top again. Do all that again. Again, barring on the 14th and barring on the 12th. Now for the second part. All right, this is pretty easy, sort of. It's weird, and there's no drums here happening, right? So play along with your record for sure. So I'm using my third finger on the 3rd string, 7th fret. Then I'm jumping to the 1st string, 7th fret with my third finger. So I'm jumping down here to the 2nd fret, 2nd string. I'm using 2 fingers because I'm bending it up. It's a little bit tricky because that's a pretty heavy string and it's hard to bend way down there on the 2nd fret. So again. It's a slow bend. Do it it again. This is where it gets really tricky. Without the backing track here, it sounds really wacky, but it's really not. Play along with it again and you'll get it. All right, so the next part, third finger, barring all the way across on the 10th fret. This is after we do the previous part. So I'm going to put those two parts together so you know where we are. Again. Now, lots of chords on the upbeat. The drums and the bass keep on going here, so it might sound weird to you without those being played when I do this part. So all I'm doing is barring on the 10th fret. 2 beats, and then 3 beats. Trust me, play along with the record and you'll understand all this. What I'm doing there is a pull off all the way across on 3 strings on the 12th fret. Now don't freak out. So I've got my first finger all the way across on 10, my third finger all the way across on 12. And I'm pulling off 3 strings. I'm pulling off an entire chord, and you're pulling off to the 10th fret. So that's a G chord going down to an F. You have to use a lot of strength with these fingers to do a triple string pull off at the same time. So you're pulling off the entire chord. Very cool, and I don't mind saying it's a little bit difficult. Then you go down here to 7. Do all that again. Then you jump up to the 12th fret. So that whole part is... Then we start back to the top. So we do all that part again like we did before. Now we do what I call the bridge. Again. Now we do all that other part again. Now all those weird pauses where I wasn't playing, you're not supposed to play. So the beat continues, you just can't hear it. All right, now we go back to the main part. 14th fret, just like we did before. 12th fret. All those parts just like we did before. Now we do the riff again. Well, 14th, and then 12th. Now here's where it gets slightly different. It slows down. It's called a retard, and I'm not being mean. So that's going to be 4, 7, 4, 10, and then 3, 7, 3, 10. 1, what is that, 7, 1, 5, 4, 10, 4, what is that, 4, 7. So, one more time. that chord, that note, and we wait for the next chord. So you got to hold it for a little while. And then we do this chord. Barring all the way across on the 7th fret. But then I'm using my 3rd finger on 1, 9, and I'm using my pinky on 210. So it's definitely a funky song. It's definitely tricky. So take it in small chunks, practice those small chunks, add the next chunk to it, practice those 2 chunks together, learn the 3rd chunk, practice those chunks together. You get the idea. Just take it one bit at a time, keep on practicing on it. It's a really fun song to play. This will definitely help your timing. It is funky as hell. Make sure you tap your foot. A lot of people have a lot of trouble tapping their foot on these funky riffs, but it is absolutely critical that you be able to tap your foot. You don't have to always tap your foot, but to be able to tap your foot should you need to, because your foot tapping will help keep you in time. You don't have to tap your foot to play these songs properly, but you have to feel that beat, and you need to feel it either in your head, right, or in your hands or in your feet, one way or the other. So have fun with that. Please subscribe and check out my website. Where is it? jagshouse.com. And we'll see you next time.